Hello and welcome to the news on NTA International. This news can be viewed on our various social media platforms as displayed on your screen. Let's begin with the headlines. President Bola Tinubu commends the National Defense Academy for a role in Nigeria's development. Vice President Cashew to lead federal government's delegation to AFCON final in support of Super Eagles. And opposition presidential candidates in Senegal head to court to challenge delayed election. Thanks again for joining us. I am Dennis Adigunluyi. President Bola Tinubu has asked for a little more patience from Nigerians, promising that his administration will definitely make up for the present situation in the country. This was at the trooping and presentation of colours ceremony marking the 60th anniversary of the Nigeria Defense Academy, Kaduna. We'll bring you this report in our subsequent bulletin. The European Union has pledged to work with the Nigerian Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security in the areas of capacity and exchange of ideas in improving yield and livestock developments. The Union will also assist Nigeria in having a stake in the EU commodity market. This came to the fore during a discussion between the EU representative in Nigeria and the Minister of Agriculture. Musa Baba Aliu has details.
Samuel Isopi is the European Union ambassador to Nigeria and the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS.
Understand how important it is.
She is at the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security to discuss the existing partnership between the EU and Nigeria in the area of agriculture. She announced that the Union has already rolled out 87 million euros to assist in food security development in the country.
Of course, in a country like Nigeria, agriculture is even more important for the development of the country, the diversification of its economy, food security, and also to create jobs, especially in some parts of the country where this is particularly needed. So we are very proud and very keen to strengthen our collaboration with Nigeria on those sectors.
Minister of Agriculture and Food Security Abubakar Kyari says recharging Lake Chad will go a long way in addressing food insecurity in the country and appeal to the European Union to fulfill its earlier pledge.
Now it's at 10% of its initial size. So if we can at least achieve 50% of its initial 50, at least 50, within the shortest possible time, that will impact on the lives of almost 40 million people.
Similarly, the Minister of State for Agriculture, Alusabi Abdullahi, hosted the Japanese ambassador to Nigeria. The discussion focused on the Japanese international cooperation intervention in Nigeria, with Japan pledging to expand the support to cover fisheries development.
Making machine, and these are all very important areas of intervention that will have up to 3 impacts: job creation, environmental remediation, and also income generation.
Japan has over the years invested in the Nigerian rice and vegetable production value chains. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Let's now go back to our top story with regards to Mr. President's appearance at the 60th anniversary of the National or Nigeria Defense Academy in Kaduna. Here is a State House correspondent, Musbao Damwahab.
Nigeria Defense Academy, NTA, supplying resourceful officers into the services of the Nigerian Armed Forces since 1964.
You are welcome to the Nigerian Defense Academy, Your Excellency.
For an institution whose alumni have been actively involved in defending the territorial integrity of a nation and subduing internal uprisings for 60 years, no support is too much. That fact has been repeatedly represented by this Commander-in-Chief with his clear support for the armed forces. Here, another morale booster. On this special occasion, he was the reviewing officer. The parade parties would certainly not disappoint on this special day with their performance. The national and regimental colours presented to the Academy during its Golden Jubilee were due for retirement. And another milestone heralded as the new ones for the Diamond Jubilee were unveiled, consecrated and then presented by President Bola Tinubu. The President commended the Academy, whose service and product, as he acknowledged, have positively impacted on the image of the nation with contributions to peace and stability both within the nation and on the continent.
The government is fully aware of the services and sacrifices that members of the Nigerian Armed Forces have continued to render across the length and breadth of this country, especially in face of daunting challenges. We as a government will continue to accord priority to the needs of armed forces to enable the military to play its constitutional role without let or hindrance.
While assuring that his administration will continue to push for the economic prosperity and development of the country, he urged the military to continue with their role of protecting the nation and its democracy.
You are all aware of the undemocratic political purges that have swept across the Sahel Francophone countries in West Africa and Central Africa. I urge you to continue to play your constitutional role of safeguarding the territorial integrity of Nigeria, our fatherland. You have shown any act that are inimical to the well-being of our nation, an act which can destroy the gains of democracy, which we have enjoyed in the last 20 years. While the relative peace we have been able to secure recently is worthy of celebration. But we must remember that the war is not over yet until every parcel of land held by the enemy of peace is held accountable and Nigeria is free of terrorism and banditry.
The Nigeria Defense Academy, established in 1964, is an adaptation of a pre-colonial Royal Military Forces Training College, which became Nigerian Military Training College upon independence in 1960. From Kaduna, Musbao, then Wahab, NT News.
Let's now bring you this somewhat inspiring story highlighting the remarkable achievements of a Nigerian lady who has made a mark in the diaspora. Dr. Doye Nomayo, hailing from Bayelsa State, has not only excelled in her academic pursuits, but is also on a mission to make a significant impact in healthcare policy. Justin Bemunyi will tell us more.
Dr. Doye Nomayo, formerly of the Federal Medical Center in Yenagoa, has recently earned a master's degree in health policy from City University of London, graduating with distinction in January 2024. Her outstanding performance has been recognized with the prestigious prize for the best overall performance in the School of Health and Psychological Sciences.
Now, during my time in clinical practice, I witnessed a lot of people, a lot of children unable to access healthcare because of cost, and also because of distance from their residence. And this is not supposed to be so.
Driven by desire for change, Dr. Nomayo recognized the need for healthcare practitioners to be more involved in politics. She embarked on a journey to understand the financial and political dimensions of healthcare policy making, aiming to contribute to the improvement of healthcare access in Nigeria.
group, and I realized that it's important for, healthcare practitioners, nurses, doctors, to get involved in politics, to be able to bring the healthcare sector, the needs of the healthcare sector on board when decisions are being taken.
Her dedication and hard work have not gone unnoticed. In a school with over 40 postgraduate programs, Dr. Nomayo's exceptional performance earned her the title of the best overall student in the School of Health and Psychological Sciences.
It was very tasking, to be honest, but I thank God because His grace saw me through. I'm very proud, to be a Nigerian. I'm happy that, we're strong people. When the going gets rough, we get going. We don't give up. We may cry and we may complain, but we are not a people known to give up.
Dr. Doye Nomayo's story is a testament to the resilience of Nigerians, demonstrating that challenges may come, but determination and faith can overcome them. As she looks to the future, Dr. Nomayo aims to utilize her knowledge and skills to serve her nation, working towards making healthcare more accessible to all. Justin Bemunyi, NTA News.
Congratulations to her. Now, democracy is said to have been put on hold in Senegal as the sitting president postpones the much-anticipated general elections. This has particularly outraged opposition candidates and has generally pitched citizens against security agencies, resulting in chaotic riots and demonstrations. Kolo Mohammed has details.
Protests, riots and crackdown have erupted in Senegal after the term-limited outgoing president, Macky Sall, suddenly announced a 6-month election delay. This on the set day the official campaign to pick his successor was due to start. The opposition is raising concerns about his justification and whether the same leader who drew worldwide praises last July for resisting the temptation to try to outstay his 2 terms in power is now attempting to do the same. They reminded him how it took street protests to force his predecessor, Buhari, to respect the constitution and step down in 2012. ECOWAS already has its plate full with coup leaders in Mali, Niger and Burkina Faso who have announced they will quit the regional bloc rather than veins to a roadmap for a return to civilian rule. Senegal has been political uncertainty for long, as the opposition major candidate, Mr. Sonko, has been in and out of courtrooms facing divergent accusations, including alleged crime of rape and impersonation. The nation's apex court stood down his candidacy in a move considered controversial by Mr. Sonko's supporters. This delay, the opposition has planned to approach the Supreme Court of Senegal to have elections held immediately. Kolo Mohammed, NTA News.
Meanwhile, former Pakistani prime ministers and rivals Nawaz Sharif and Imran Khan on Friday both declared separate victories in elections which have been marred by delayed results and militant attacks, throwing the country into further political turmoil. Here again is Kulu Mohammed.
Nawaz Sharif's party won the most seats by a single party in the elections, while supporters of the imprisoned Imran Khan, who ran as independents instead of a single bloc after his party was barred from polls, won the most seats overall. Results showed independents, most of them backed by Imran Khan, had won the most seats, 98 of the 245 seats counted thus far. Sharif's Pakistan Muslim League won 69, while the Pakistan People's Party of Bhutto Zardari, the son of assassinated Premier Benazir Bhutto, got 51. The rest were won by small parties and other independents. Mr. Sharif said the Muslim League is the single largest party in the country and holds the duty to place the nation of Pakistan on the path of peace and progress. He added that his party respects the voice of the people, and whoever gets the mandate, whether an independent or a party candidate, they respect and support belongs to such a person. Imran Khan's party released an audiovisual message created using artificial intelligence and shared on his social media platform. In the message, which is usually delivered by word through his lawyers, Imran Khan, 71, rejected Sharif's claim to victory, congratulated his supporters on winning the election, and urged them to celebrate and protect their votes. He also thanked his supporters for turning out en masse to vote. Sharif, a three-time former premier, returned from years of self-imposed exile in the United Kingdom last year, having contested last election from a jail cell on graft conviction. He was considered the front runner to lead the country, having buried a long-running feud with the powerful military. Sharif said his party would have preferred to win a majority of its own, but in the absence of that, will get in touch with others, including former President Asif Ali Zandari of the PPP, to open negotiations as early as Saturday night. In his first reaction, a senior aide to Imran Khan said the party leaders will hold talks and also meet Imran Khan in jail to discuss the results and the next line of action. Kolo Muhammad, NTA News.
You're watching the news on NTA International. We'll take a short break. More reports in a moment. Stay with us. Back. The 2024 cashew season has been flagged off, signalling commencement of activities in the sector. The flag-off, which was also used by stakeholders to mark the National Cashew Day celebration, focused on how the use of technology and innovation can help revolutionize the sector, reputed for having the potential to be a top foreign exchange earner for the country. Chairman House Committee on Agriculture, Akeem Adeniyi Adeyemi, who represented the Speaker of the House of Representatives, said the National Assembly will give its support to the actualization of the national cashew policy to more farmers into the sector with clear-cut funding support systems. And joining us now in the studio, we have the president of the Cashew Association of Nigeria, Ojo Ajanaku, to discuss the national cashew policy. You're very welcome to our studios.
Thank you for having me.
When we say the cashew season flag off, what are we talking about exactly?
When we say the cashew season flag off, we're talking about cashew interests and
you put the thing on properly.
Having interest in Nigerian cashew. National Cashew Association of Nigeria is an annual event of the National Cashew Association of Nigeria, and it can be likened to that of a World Cashew Conference that just took place in Cambodia, which revolves around the producing countries around the world, and it can also be likened to Africa Cashew Alliance International Cashew Conference, like the one we held here in Nigeria in 2022, which revolve around the African producing countries. Or the National Cashew Day is an event that revolves around the Nigerian cashew producing states.
The National Cashew Day 2024 focuses on the role of technology and innovation in driving the sector. Now, what improvements do you think these can achieve?
Yeah, it's focusing on technology and innovation. It can help us increase value addition in the processing, can enhance processing through technology, and also the quality of the product through innovation. Then you talk about sustainability of the sector. The technology and innovation can help in sustainable the system through good agricultural practices. It can also help in market access, also through technology, accessing market for the program. Above all, it helps in growing the economic of the nation. So this is why we focus on the technology and innovations to inclusive policy.
All right. Lastly, where are we exactly with this national cashew policy?
Yeah, the national cashew policies have come a very long way. We started this first workshop in last year in Edo State, when we have the National Cashew Day in Edo State. And we move it again now to Enugu. We also have a workshop there. From the Edo State on, when we came out of Edo State, we were able to get the attention of the necessary agencies and the government to get interested in it. And we got a national consultant that is ongoing. We have discussion with all the development agencies across the nation, and the national consultant is holding a meeting with every one of them. We had a workshop together with him in Enugu, and the discussion is ongoing. We'll be having the last workshop in the northern part of the country. We are looking at Kaduna or Gombe for the place to have the next workshop to come up with a policy that will befit the sector. We are doing that because we feel that a sector without a policy is like an orphan. And Nigeria is not a banana republic where anything goes. I just came back from Cambodia, and the Cambodia, as at 2019, during the COVID era, we were doing below 300,000 tons of cashew. But as at today, we had the conference there. What they are doing today, they are doing over 800,000 tons of cashew, and they are netting 1.3 to up to $1.7 billion into their network, and they are processing just 5% of what they are currently producing. Right. And in Nigeria, we believe that we can able to do more, because Nigeria was one time the highest producer of cashew. When we are doing 800, the major producing country today is Ivory Coast, is doing less than 140,000 tons of cashew. And the Cambodia today, that within 3 years they've grown to this level. You look at their population, right. How much is the population? They are just about 15.5 million. So in Nigeria, I think we have more better opportunity.
Sure, certainly more potential for us here in Nigeria. Many thanks, Ojo Ajanaku, President of the Cashew Association of Nigeria. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Now, the growing cost of commodities is not peculiar to Nigeria, as it is a global challenge that requires the support of all. This was the position of caregivers during an empowerment support program in Abuja, facilitated by HJ Farms, a federal government's partner in food security systems. It's brought together widows and care seekers to benefit from the agricultural support program, which is in support of the directive of President Bola Tinubu for the release of 102 metric tons of various grains from the National Food Reserve and the Rice Millers Association of Nigeria.
Okay, there are widows amongst us who had been crying out and all that, and we sent a letter to AJ Farm, and they released a huge sum of 500,000 here from part of the 10 million federal government had given them, and this portion or this local area were given a 500,000 poverty alleviation for foodstuff and others. So that's why we are here. AJ
I appreciate so much, because it's not everybody that will have a mind to come out like this to impact in people's life.
Organizers say one of the ways is for people to form teams and clusters and engage in partial or full farming nationwide, which will be easier to access government funding for rural agriculture. Neuro surgery, as a vital component of tertiary healthcare, is an evolving field of practice in Nigeria, needing materials and manpower. Examining the practice of brain surgery in the global age, experts highlight the challenges, prospects and future of neurosurgery in the country. Susan Eze reports.
Tracing his footmarks as a Nigerian neurosurgeon, Professor Enoch Uche of the University of Nigeria, as he led the discourse on brain surgery in the global age, navigating the barriers of care to habituate survival in the final frontiers, traced the evolution of neurosurgery. In sub-Saharan Africa, Nigeria, with a population of 200 million, leads the chart in a scale-up of neurosurgical capacity, with 81 neurosurgeons currently in the country, giving a ratio of 1 surgeon to 2.5 million people, a ratio experts consider a far cry from the needed number of at least 850 surgeons to reasonably serve the population.
Many Nigerians that require surgery are not able to afford it. So government should come to the aid of patients that require neurosurgical treatment. Again, government should upgrade facilities in the teaching hospitals and also make sure that training for neurosurgeons is also subsidized.
Tracing barriers to surgical care to include poverty and funding gaps in research and training of manpower. Stakeholders acknowledge the need to address the disparities and the challenges in neurosurgery. They identify advanced trainings and global collaborations as vital to the development of neurosurgery in Nigeria.
Remember with the Swedish, they came here physically twice, but subsequently they were doing it with telemedicine. They've been able to pass on skills to us, and that has helped a lot.
Patients are paying out of pocket, and if you don't have money to pay, most times the patients die.
General call was for medical insurance to be made available to all Nigerians so that brain trauma and congenital malfunction cases can have easy access to the life-saving neuro care. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu has directed Vice President Cashew to lead a presidential team to the final of the African Cup of Nations in Côte d'Ivoire. Recognizing the unifying power of football and the immense role the Super Eagles play in fostering national pride and unity, the president believes that Vice President Shettima's presence at the final, alongside the delegation, is a testament to government's unwavering support for the national team and its dedication to their success. The match will rekindle the memories of Nigeria's 1-0 victory in the group stage, secured through Captain William Troost-Ekong's penalty. The federal government calls on all Nigerians, both at home and abroad, to unite in support of the Super Eagles and to raise their voices in encouragement and create a wave of national pride that propels them to glory. And next is a check on Sunday's weather prospect for Nigeria and some world cities. Well, this is where we end the news on NTA International at this time. Thanks for watching. I am Dennis Adigunloye.